It is a tragic irony, one that echoes throughout time, one that history has confirmed again and again. The good man always suffers the most, not because he is weak, not because he is incapable of defending himself, but because his very nature demands sacrifice. To be good in this world is to take on burdens that were never meant to be yours, to walk a path that is constantly uphill, to live with a heart that feels too much and a mind that sees too clearly. The good man is not blind to the cruelty of the world. He is not naive. If anything, he understands it better than most. He knows that deception wins battles, that ruthlessness accumulates power, that selfishness brings wealth. He watches as men who lie, cheat, and manipulate rise to the top, gaining admiration, status, and ease while he remains at the bottom, struggling. He sees it, but he refuses to participate, not because he is foolish, but because he simply cannot betray himself. And so he chooses the harder path, the path of integrity, of kindness, of selflessness. And this is where the suffering begins. The world does not reward goodness. It exploits it. It takes advantage of the man who gives, knowing he will not ask for anything in return. It tests the patience of the man who refuses to retaliate. It drains the strength of the man who carries others when they are too weak to carry themselves. The good man becomes a foundation upon which others stand, yet no one ever thinks to check if he too needs support. People use him, not always with malice, sometimes simply because they assume he can handle it. They lean on him, expecting him to always be there. They call on him in moments of crisis, knowing he will not turn them away. And he, being who he is, cannot refuse. He gives his time, his energy, his love, until there is nothing left, until he is exhausted, depleted, hollow. But the worst suffering is not external, it is internal. The good man suffers because he feels too deeply. He cannot ignore suffering. He cannot watch injustice and look away. He absorbs the pain of others, takes it into himself, carrying burdens that were never meant to be his. And in doing so, he drowns. His heart aches not only for himself, but for the world, for the cruelty he cannot fix, for the brokenness he cannot mend. He suffers in love too, because he does not love lightly. He does not manipulate. He does not play games. When he loves with his entire being. And in return, he is often met with indifference, with betrayal, with disappointment. He is the one who stays up at night wondering what went wrong, replaying every moment, questioning if he gave too much or not enough. The good man does not have the luxury of detachment. When he loves fully. And when he loses completely. And yet, through all this suffering, he does not break. This is the paradox of the good man. The world punishes him for his kindness, but still, he does not harden. He does not become like those who hurt him. He does not let cruelty turn him cruel, nor does he allow betrayal to make him untrusting. He suffers, but he does not surrender. There is a deep, unspoken strength in the good man. The world will never acknowledge it, will never reward it, but it exists nonetheless. To be good in a world that punishes goodness is the greatest test of endurance. It is easy to become bitter when life has been unfair. It is easy to stop caring when caring has only brought you pain. But the good man does not take the easy path. He continues, even when he is tired, even when he is alone, even when the weight of it all feels unbearable. And perhaps this is why he suffers most of all, because he is one of the rare few who understands that suffering is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It is proof that he has not given up. It is proof that he has not allowed the world to change him. The good man will never have an easy life. He will always be tested, always be underestimated, always be taken for granted. But he will also be something far more valuable than those who take the easier road. He will be unbreakable. He will be rare. He will be the kind of man that the world does not deserve, but desperately needs. If you enjoy this type of content, please like, share, and subscribe.